Hello, hello, hello. How's everyone doing? Another week, another episode. This is Stats Over Politics. As always, I'm your host, Shaun alongside my guys, Mr. Kevin Dent and Jaevon Toddy. Episode number 106. Jaevon, how are we doing today?
Feeling all right. Feeling all right. We are here for another week, and we are almost there to let alone uh, NFL football, but college football will be back in almost less than a month, or almost over a month, because I think week one starts like the 31st of August. So
We got week 0 before that, though.
yeah, week
Exactly.
zero. So
We got college football in Ireland, week 0.
yeah. I forget who's playing. I think it's Florida State.
Florida State and Georgia Tech.
That'll be
Ew.
that'll
He
an
was right, Kevin.
interesting one, but it'll get me to a TV if I can bet it. So can't wait.
I mean, Toddy was locked in on XFL football, so you know he's going to be locked in to week 0
Dark times.
college football in Ireland. Kevin, how are we doing this week?
I'm doing well, man. No complaints. I woke up this morning in my normal routine about to walk blue, and I stepped one step outside. It's pouring rain. I said, all right, well, these shorts and Birks are not going to cut it, Blue. Let me run upstairs real quick and let's change. So it was cold today. We're back to the normal weather tomorrow. I know this isn't going to sound crazy to you guys, but it's going to be a high of 81 tomorrow. So, get the shorts out, get the tank tops.
Pray for 81.
Man, pray for us. It's going to be hot tomorrow. Us Portlanders are not used to that kind of weather, but besides that, I'm doing well. There's a lot of good football to talk, a lot of good basketball. As a LeBronologist, I'm the only one here, so I got to hold it down with the next. Going into USA basketball, the GOAT, still doing his thing, man. Best player in the league, and people say I'm crazy. So looking forward to another great episode with the guys.
He certainly is proving that. This is Stats Over Politics after all, and putting all the politics aside when it comes to age, whatever it may be that people try to use to down a person. I mean, LeBron has proven it time after time. And so I am also thrilled to pretty good. Maybe he would be in the top 100 if the NBA actually did that, but maybe. I don't know.
Shout out to Team USA. They're respectful. When the group play starts, they respect coin. Maybe in the exhibition they start to play around here and there. But when they start getting in the group stage, they respect coin. They know what the lines are.
They certainly do. And as Toddy was alluding to, Team USA men's basketball opens up the Olympics yesterday, and they get a dominant win against the Serbians, 110-84. They did handle Serbia in the exhibition games, but that wasn't the case with South Sudan, Germany, and so this was encouraging to say the least. And so, Jaevon, I believe the spread was plus 22, right? So they did cover it. It wasn't, but what was it? Was it plus? Well, oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was 22 or something like that. So, yeah. But anyways, they cover the spread, so you're happy about that. As Scott Van Pelt would like to say, important to some, and Toddy is among those some. And so, anyways, Jaevon, what did you think of Team USA's opening game? Because Serbia, at least in my opinion, is the biggest challengers to Team USA in their group.
So I thought that the USA, they started out slow. Serbia came out very hot from three. They were getting a bunch of backdoor cuts, hitting open threes, and Jokic wasn't really doing too much to start the game. But then I think LeBron, he got like a fast break dunk, and I feel like that galvanized everybody. D-Book hit some early threes to kind of get their mojo going. I thought Steph was amazing. Anthony Edwards off the bench. Anthony Edwards picking up full court. It might not mean a lot it's not like a box score thing, but I feel like it has a lot to do with the intensity of how USA is going to play, especially on a made basket. Anthony Edwards was a guy that I noticed that was picking up full court, along with, I think, Drew Holiday and Derek White were some of those guys. But I noticed early in the game, Anthony Edwards was picking up full court and kind of, making their point guard work 94 feet. I did see Anthony Davis got into foul trouble early in this game. So you saw a lot more Bam Adebayo in this game. And Bam played very well. I thought he played okay. Okay, to some against Jokic, you can only do so much because there's not really much against him. But I thought Bam did a fair job on him. Embiid is kind of weird with Embiid with his play style on how Team USA and the way that this team's kind of matched and formed. I think I saw something that Embiid was like -8 or something when he's on the floor, and they're like +13 when he's off the floor. So it's kind of weird to kind of work him into that lineup. I don't know if he doesn't start because, he's a former MVP, so it'd be tough for him to not start. But at the same time, I feel like it's kind of LeBron's team, as most would like to say. I think Kevin can agree to that. Jason Tatum didn't play. I'll kind of just beat Kevin to the chase there. I thought that was weird. An all-NBA guy not playing. That was kind of strange to me. I get, in a way, I kind of get what Steve Kerr was saying, like, 40 minutes, this, then the third. But, I mean, when you have a guy who I believe is top 5 in the league doesn't play a single minute and you still win by, 20 points, it's kind of weird. It's kind of alarming. Kevin Durant, I think it was kind of the story of the game. He didn't miss a shot until, I think, late in the third quarter, which was insane. He is the all-time Team USA or Olympic scorer. So that's a little something to kind of put in your back pocket. And when Kevin Durant doesn't play any of the exhibition games and doesn't start, you're kind of like, maybe he's going to be rusty, him coming to the game, kind of work himself into the game. Nah, he just comes out firing on all cylinders, scores pretty much every single time except for once. He missed one field goal. It was pretty special to watch him kind of just off the bench. Off the bench, Kevin Durant. I got Kevin Durant coming off the bench. But you got Steph hitting step back threes, Kevin Durant's making every shot, LeBron's coming down the lane. Anthony Edwards is, being a pest on defense. Derek White was playing pretty solid, I thought. Drew Holiday is playing great defense. Hit a couple step back threes, Drew Holiday. He's kind of, getting to his USA bag. But, Bam Adebayo, he's doing what he does. So, I mean, Anthony Davis blocking shots. It's just, I don't really see a team beating USA. Now, we did see an exhibition. There were a couple of scares there, but I feel like now that we're into the group stage, guys are settling in. Like, all right, let's take it for real this time. It's not like a scrimmage. This is for real. This is, counts on paper. So, I'm just a fan of watching all these guys play at the same time because these are guys that, are the best. How many? I'm pretty sure everybody on this team is a max player, like on their team, like max contract, multiple championships, all NBA, finals MVP, NBA MVP. Like they're all on the same team. And so I feel like that's where it kind of comes into like, wow, we get to watch Devin Booker, Steph Curry, LeBron, KD, Joel Embiid. Like all these guys are on the same team. And so it's, once every 4 years that we kind of get to see it. But I feel like that's why a lot of us are really, in tune with Team USA basketball because it's like literally the world's best players are on the exact same team. And we get a glimpse of it during the All-Star game when like all the guys are playing against each other, but it's not as competitive because
they don't fucking try.
They don't really try, and the defense isn't there. And
the MVP gets picked last. Can't take the game serious.
Yeah, so it's when you got the Team USA, these guys are really competing for a gold medal. So I feel like what we won in the All-Star game is what we're getting in the Olympics. Now I get most of the talent is concentrated on the one team with the USA, but you're still getting guys like Canada is another really good team who has some guys like Jamal Murray, SGA. They're like legit guys on that team. And then there's France. You got Rudy Gobert. You got Wemby on the France team. So it's a lot more spread out than it once was. There's NBA guys on different rosters. They might not be the caliber, like all-star caliber on these other teams, but when they on their teams, they're like superstars on their team. Like you got, I saw who was it? I think it was Jose Alvarado from Puerto Rico putting up like 25 in the
different role.
game. So he was hooping. So I mean, when you get like a solid NBA player playing on for their country, they can go out there and score 25, 20 points. Easy. So, and then kind of going back, they might average like 10 points a game on their NBA roster, but if you put them on their country's team, they're going to go out there and they're going to go hoop. So, I think I saw a guy on Spain who plays for like the Bulls, and he's like a rotational guy. He was putting up numbers. So, this is kind of, like I said, this is kind of what you look for in the All-Star game when you got, the world's best players playing against each other, but you're getting it now in the Olympics, and it's a lot more competitive. So I can't complain, especially when Team USA is covering the spread. That just makes everything that much more better. But I'm very in tune with Team USA and watching these guys play because, you only get it every 4 years, and everything changes after those 4 years because right now this is LeBron's last ride, obviously, and this is Steph Curry's first Olympics, which is kind of crazy to say after the career that he's had, all the accolades that he has when it comes to MVP, All-Star, or Finals MVP, NBA champion, and he hasn't even won a gold medal yet. So that might be something cool to add to his resume. So, and you kind of get to see, like over time, there was Carmelo, there was Kobe, there was D-Wade, KD, and LeBron. And LeBron's kind of played with all of these guys during his career. So he's played with Anthony Edwards, he's played with Kobe, he's played with Carmelo, versus playing, with guys like Devin Booker now, or Anthony Edwards, who's like, Tyrese Halliburton, Jason Tatum, guys like that. So it's kind of what did Christian say? Sorry, for our audio only listener, Derek White is, what did he say? No.
He said they're all NBA players, so he was refuting that point.
Yeah, so it's very interesting to see all these guys kind of play on the same team and kind of see like where their role is. Like you got guys like Devin Booker who's kind of turned into a spot up shooter. Like he could do a whole lot more than that. Like he was handed the keys to the team at literally 18 years old and has been in the league since he was 18, and he's been having to do all this other stuff and has all these crazy numbers at a young age, and he's just turned into a spot up shooter. And it's like I can do a lot more, but I mean, I'm here to do what my team needs me to do. And I never said that Derek White was an all-NBA player. I'm just saying there are guys on the team that were all-NBA guys.
You gotta eat that, Toddy.
You may have misspoke, but one thing you did say definitively, and even I kind of agreed to it. I didn't say anything, but I shook my head in agreement because I couldn't think of anyone off the top of my head. Granted, the 12th man or whatever we want to classify Derek White's role as, the Kawhi Leonard role.
Well, defensive guy is what I was probably trying to say.
For sure. And he is an all defensive kind of guy. But that role should have been filled by the reigning finals MVP, who is a max player. But one thing you did say, Jaevon, is all of these guys are max players for their respective teams. Derek White got the bag recently, but he didn't technically get the max. So he's like the one outlier.
Yeah, so like two guys like Drew Holiday and Derek White obviously aren't max guys, but the like 90% of the roster is max players for their team.
Yeah, exactly, as it should be. Kevin, and for our audio only listeners, I'll just read the Instagram comment from a former guest, Christian Terrell, friend of the pod.
Golden State Warriors.
Shout out to CT. And he said, Derek White, an all-NBA player with several question marks in all caps. So thank you to Christian for interacting with the show. We appreciate you. Kevin, I don't really have much to ask you. I just present you with two words. Jason Tatum.
Jason Tatum. Eastern Conference Finals MVP? Oh, no. Finals MVP? No. Cover on 2K?
They get the cover.
Got on the Olympic team. He's Toddy loves showing this stat. One of 6 players to lead their team in points, assists, and rebounds. Toddy just went in to say Devin Booker had to change his position. We know what Devin Booker can do. We saw him do a 70 in the second year. He's a spot-up shooter. Can Jason Tatum sit in the corner and wait? Jason Tatum is a ball-dominant player, and I know Steve Kerr came out and said that he's going to play next game. We got to take it with a grain of salt. They're playing Nikola Jokic. All 13, 14 guys on that team know that just one of them is not going to hold them. Just two of them is not going to hold them. That's why we saw all three bigs play, Joel, AD, and Bam. When they play him in the NBA season, it's just them. You got to throw three legitimate all-NBA defenders besides Joel Embiid, so two all-NBA defenders at him, and just make it hard for him. You saw that Nikola Jokic, they lost the game by 20-something, but when he was in the game, it was tied. It was a tie game. He was doing his thing, but at the second he stepped off the floor, you saw that Serbia is just under-talented, and it's nothing against them. They played a hell of a game, but for him to really carry that team goes to show a lot. But this team is full with forwards. And Toddy, what position does Jason Tatum play?
He's a forward.
He's a forward. So I have seen both sides of the coin. I've seen everyone talking about how hating on him is stupid, and he's a champ. Why is he not playing? There is a guy named Kevin Durant. Jason Tatum woke up yesterday. Told his mom, told Deuce, I'm playing. Life is good. They said, what about 7? They said, he's not playing today. So that means you know what's coming. You about to see number 10 out there. Shout out to Kobe. And Steve Kerr set him down. All right. Kevin Durant is back. I'm sorry, but you're the next man down. You and Tyrese, you make sure these Gatorades are full. These towels are folded. And I want to see you be the best 12th man there is. Austin Rivers came out and said, people that are hating on him is stupid. You saw him out there. He was engaged. There was a whole 30-second clip of him just sitting like this.
30 seconds, though?
Mad as shit. Mad as shit. He'll get up when everyone gets up, but he's like, yeah, this is cool. I gave up my summer to do this. This was supposed to be the summer of Jason Tatum.
He probably had
Eastern
never
Conference
not
Finals MVP. Finals MVP. Olympian, 2K cover, everything was supposed to go for him. But as the Jason Tatum fan, Toddy, we saw USA play their best game we've seen yet. And with that being said, who was coming out for Jason Tatum? Everyone played a hell of a game. There's not one person you can say that went out there and you're like, Jason could have did that. Like you said, Anthony Edwards, full court defense. We don't see that in Minnesota. Timberwolves fans were like, where's this all season? You are not getting on this floor unless you do that. And, whatever you might say, hater Kevin, hater this, that ain't Jason Tatum's fault. That ain't a strong suit. Being an off-ball shooter, not a strong suit. So, yeah, he'll play. He's not going to not get a single minute. Tyrese Halliburton's going to play as well. These are all I'm not going to say the 13 best players in the world, but they're one of the top 100 in the world. They're one of the best at what they do at their craft. That's why they are here or in Paris. So huge shout out to Serbia. This USA team is finally getting rolling. And I know a lot of people were saying that they started off slow. They didn't look good. But like I've been telling people, these teams and these countries have been playing together for summers on summers on summers. This team's probably been together for a month and a half, 2 months now. So now that they got Kevin Durant rolling in their full strength, they got the best water boy in the country. How can they lose?
And you know what's crazy? This is probably the first time ever in his life he's not played in the game. Probably the same for Tyrese too. You go ahead and grab some pine. What? I'm a top 3 pick. I was one of the best players in the country in college, coming out of high school. Not playing a game. It's kind of alarming.
Well, they also never been the third best person in their position on the team.
Very, very strange. And Kawhi Leonard is a guy, Kevin, as you mentioned earlier, that forwards, there's a bunch of forwards on his team. Kawhi Leonard kind of bowed out. I don't know if I can get in where I fit in. He's one of the best guys in the league. So
yeah, but I bet you he would have played yesterday.
He probably would have played yesterday. He probably would have started.
There for sure he would have played yesterday.
He probably would have started.
Because he plays defense.
Yeah. So Jason Tatum plays defense. It's not. Let's respect him. He's.
Oh yeah, wait. He guards the first option. No, that's Drew. Second option. That's Derek White. Third option, that's Jaylen Brown. You get to guard the other team's Al Horford. Hey. Hell of a job, Jason.
You're right.
And just for added context, like Kevin is a diehard Duke fan, and so for him to hate on Jason Tatum, like, I mean, Kevin's just speaking from the heart right now, speaking from the heart, or excuse me, speaking from the brain, because the heart would show some love to Jason Tatum. But Toddy, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I was about to say the exact same thing you are. Kevin is, the dukiest of dukes, and just the rhetoric that comes out of his mouth about Jason Tatum is almost criminal, and
almost like you went to Carolina.
Yeah, so
I might tell you a story, but I'll never tell you a lie.
You never know. But for Steve Kerr to kind of come out, I feel like he was kind of trying to get ahead of it and say, hey, like he's going to play next game. I thought
he said that he's going to get more minutes. Literally, he just needs to get 1 second to play more than he did last year.
His management said, Grant Hill, look, we got 4 more days. This shit happen again, you better call Kawhi. You better call Jalen out here.
Oh, you said Jason Tatum people said that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, we on the cover of 2K, man. You heard the clout.
Oh, man. Let
me ask you guys this, though, before we move on, because Kevin Durant starting 8 for 8 in this game and just absolutely being locked in, and him being the guy who came off the bench for LeBron James, who, like, we used to call Carmelo Anthony Captain America. Kevin Durant, like, stats over politics, probably is Captain America, but LeBron, when he is in the Olympics, and he hasn't been in the Olympics since 2012 was the last time that LeBron was in the Olympics. So it's been a while, but when he is in the Olympics, LeBron is clearly Captain America. But L'America. I know. The first time I saw that on Twitter, it just made me laugh so hard. Kevin, you're still muted, so we didn't hear what you just said.
I gotta get that picture framed.
Yes, exactly. And even, like, I know the one that you're talking about is the one with him holding the flag on the boat, but, like, even there was a photo from yesterday's game where it was the first photo that he posted in his IG post, where it was after he finished the dunk, and you see, like, his face, like, basically reacting to the dunk, like, as he's still midair, was just awesome. But the question that I wanted to ask you guys is, like, Team USA pulled away in this game. They won by 26 points. Unless Steve Kerr is worried about covering the spread, I don't understand why Tyrese Halliburton and Jason Tatum couldn't get in a couple minutes in a blowout. Like, if one of you
wanted, it would have been disrespectful at that point.
I mean, would it though? Like, you traveled all the way here. You're wearing the uniform. Might as well let them step out onto the court.
Hey, Shaun, like I said, they not getting paid. This is YMCA basketball. You ain't cutting it. You ain't getting on the court. Not for 2 minutes, not for 10 minutes. If you ain't cutting it, then you ain't getting out there for participation trophy. All right? Give you warm up on.
Glorified YMCA basketball is what they're playing right now.
I can find that very relatable. While Kevin and Jaevon are always picked when you play a game of 5-on-5, I'm often the guy who is there to be a sub, and I am the 12th or 13th man, as has been the case.
Hey, Jason Tatum's not a bad 13 man to relate to.
Oh my God.
Hey, man. Wow. I just realized that me and Jason Tatum have something in common. How amazing!
We played the same amount.
You guys scored the same amount of points in the Olympics.
Woo! Let's go, man. That's crazy. I scored the same amount of points as the guy who's on 2K in the Olympics.
2K.
Tell them that next time they try to pick you as a sub.
Right? Exactly. As we keep things moving here on episode 106 of Stats Over Politics, Shaun Holko alongside Kevin Dent and Jaevon. Toddy, I could infer as much just by reading these 3 YouTube comments, but you can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure we got our guy Evan in the comments as he says, Kevin the winner. I let 106 in Park beat me with a laughing emoji. Oh my gosh, Evan's funny. For those of you who don't know what we're alluding to since the game, what's the official name? EA Sports College Football 25. That's the official name. Since that game came out, Toddy has been taking some whoopings from Kevin, and apparently Evan.
The world, Shaun.
Yeah, bro, I'm letting it be known. But apparently Evan has also been defeating Toddy as well. And so Evan and Kevin, we'll throw in a Devin too, I guess. But the two of them, they were debating back and forth in our fantasy football group chat on who is supreme when it comes to NCAA football. And I can attest as a viewer to the Twitch stream, the answer is Kevin Dent.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know, they had us in the first half. He had us. Got a crazy pick. And then it got cold in Colorado. Evan done pissed down his leg. He thrown to the wrong color jersey. He just didn't know what he was doing out there. And I told him, man, you know, I take it disrespectful when people – Toddy's my man, all right? When people send stuff in there, clowning Toddy, like, tell him to get better, tell him to get better. Nah, that ain't cool. Bullies get bullied from where I'm from. So now I have to scrape them up for you, Toddy. That ain't going to happen on my watch.
Oh.
And now he's running from me. We ain't played since.
I wanted to
Shout out to Boogie.
But
you're gonna refrain.
I was trying to refrain from talking about this because
nobody
wants to tell the world they're getting their ass kicked in college football 25.
Oh, bro, it happens to me all the time.
It's out there now. It's out there.
Fun fact, Shaun, we were playing the other day, and he was up in the fourth quarter. One of my homeboys calls on thru, and Toddy's like, nah, fuck that. I'm on now. I'm about to get him. Look, I'm winning. 4 minutes later, he was hot. And I always know. So for the audio-only listeners, Toddy and I have headphones. We play the game. And once I hear that's translated to, God damn it, Kevin, they got me again. As soon as I hear a sigh, I know it's over.
Oh, man, that's deep exhale.
It gets real when we play college football 25. But I will say this. I wasn't a heavy gamer, but I love college football, like the game itself, because that was the only game I used to really play when I have a PS3, so I'm into vintage games and all that stuff. So I would religiously play the old college football. And then Kevin was always trying to recruit me on what I should get, an Xbox or a PS5. You know, I announced my commitment on Instagram a couple of days before actually a day before the game came out, let's just say that. And so I'm scrambling, trying to get a game system and the whole everything. So I'm not really up to speed with like PS5, Xbox, like the newer games. But I said like once college football come out, I would get a game system because that's the game that I really play. So we're trying to get into the swing of things. Hasn't been great, but we'll get there.
Nah, how you finish. Where my dogs at?
Really? Well, I really like the fact that Toddy's not getting discouraged. He's going right back at it. And so
I motivated him. Shaun, he threw a post route on me the other day. I was like, God damn it, Toddy, look at you.
I'm growing. We're getting better.
I was like, man, but Shaun, before we even started, I was like, hey, man, you know what? Let's just lab a game. Let's just work on some stuff. Let's figure this out. I don't take orders from you. It's like, all right, well, you know, I tried my best.
He's trying to help. Trying to help.
Took it as a side of disrespect. We're trying, and then
he did little bro you a little bit.
When Evan, he's probably going to try and talk shit in the comments. At the store, we religiously used to play Madden all the time at the store, and we would go back and forth. Like it wasn't like he would dominate me every single time. We would kind of go back and forth on who was, you know, the top dog at the shop, and it was it was competitive. It's not what it is like right now, like where I'm just getting dogged out. But like I'm trying to get back to where I once was, and I'm starting to kind of figure it out here and there. I might need to put the controller down and pick the pen up and study a little bit on what I need to be doing. But there's some gamers out here that really do this shit for real. That's all I'm gonna say right now. There be some guys out there that they do this for a living. And so it's a whole new world for me. So that's all I have to say. And we're getting there. We're trial by fire is what we're doing. We're just kind of getting in there. We're just getting in there and we're just putting our head down and we're learning from experience. And so I feel like experience is the best teacher. And so that's what's going on right now.
Kevin may not be making money or a career off of and
you should. I'm not even gonna
lie. But I mean, I know that Kevin's locked in. I know that you for sure have like a Madden group chat, but aren't you a part of like some Madden league as well? Where
I run my own Madden league.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's real life.
Kevin is locked the fuck in, and the day that I play him in Madden, I'm just afraid of what the final score is going to look like because I'm going to
comment down below. We should stream our games, guys.
Toddy, if you get a camera for your Twitch, bro, I'd be all in because they got to see your reactions. They got to see it,
and then they don't exactly, and then they don't have to just hear the.
Just see
like
the
they see it happening. They can see it happening in real time. As I was laughing at even Kevin joined the YouTube comments where my dog's at roof. And so, guys, now getting to the other basketball team playing in the Olympics for the United States is the women, and they handled business today as well as Team USA women beat Japan 102-76. Japan, they kind of hung tough with them a little bit towards the beginning, but Team USA ultimately pulled away. And I'm not staring at the box score right now, but from what I could recall from this morning, everyone played in this game. So no Tyrese Halliburton, no Jason Tatum scenario. But it's also because just like the men, the women won by 26 points. So the game kind of dictated for that to be the case. Anyways, Kevin, I'm going to toss it to you first on this one. Just what did you think about how the Team USA women handled business in their first Olympic game?
I actually did not know they started playing today. I thought they started playing tomorrow, so I missed it, but I checked the box score, and I think this is 65 consecutive wins, Shaun.
Yeah, it's absolutely nuts. I don't know the exact number, but it's crazy.
I saw the one they posted. I think it might be 65. Don't quote me on that, though. But
it sounds about right.
For them to just go out there and just assert dominance. The one thing I did want to mention is that the attendance was at the lowest it's ever been. And people on Twitter and casuals like me are saying, well, this is why you bring Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. You know, they don't got to play. There was some Jason Tatum jerseys in the stands. It's all about marketing. You got to put asses in the seats. And Caitlin Clark would have done that. So, you know, tips off to the team. Everyone, that was kind of the rumor going around, and it was just all about marketing thing and how they could have done this and could have done that. But with all the noise, USA comes down and handles business. A'ja Wilson is doing her thing on her way to an MVP. I don't know if there's ever been a unanimous MVP. That's a Shaun question, but I think that's the route she's headed now.
Yeah, I could definitely see that as well.
Has there ever been one before?
I don't think so. Not one that I can at least recall off the top of my head. Jaevon, what did you think about this? Because Kevin mentioned Caitlin Clark, and I don't know if you guys saw this at all on social media from Kareth Burke, who works for NBC, and she's out there covering the game. She was working the sideline of today's game. Apparently, there was a Japan fan in the stands with a very small but big enough that the players could look into the stands and read his sign. But there was a Japan fan in the stands today that had a sign that said, "You guys can only beat us if Caitlin was here," or something of that matter. It was like, "You guys need Caitlin to beat us." Well, there was a video that Kareth took where you could literally see the players' reaction in real time. You see Breanna Stewart, A'ja Wilson, Brittany Griner, all looking over and like, oh, really? We really need Caitlin Clark to beat you? Let's find out. They fuck around. They found out. Jaevon, the Team USA women, and what I'll say about this game is that, obviously the two best players in the league being A'ja Wilson and Breanna Stewart, they tore it up for Team USA, as they should. And it's scary because what the women have with those two players is basically like if Team USA had Joel Embiid and Nikola Jokic in the same starting lineup. And so just what did you think about how Team USA opened up the Olympics with a win today?
Well, I didn't actually get a chance to watch this game, but I saw that A'ja Wilson was kind of dominating, which I kind of expect her to do. I think as far as Team USA for the women for basketball, I expect domination. As Kevin already mentioned, that it was 60-something wins in a row for Team USA for the women's basketball side. But I think it's just kind of coming down to who's going to come within 20 points I feel like that's going to be something that's going to be very – they're going to be favored by 20 points in almost every single game. I don't really see it getting close in any of their group stage games. So, yeah, we'll see a lot of Asia Wilson. I feel like it's going to dominate for Team USA. Breanna Stewart as well. I think it should probably dominate for Team USA. You got the woad on there, my woad, and that's Diana Taurasi. But she's kind of there to just, hey, I'm here if you need me. I'm the OG of the team pretty much, and I think she's gonna, just let all the girls and Breanna Stewart, Asia Wilson, Chelsea Gray, and just let those girls go out there and dominate. But she's there in the background, like, hey, if you need me, I'm here. But yeah, I think we'll see a lot more of these final scores. They're gonna look a lot similar. These 102 to 76s, 120 to 65. It's gonna get ugly in a couple of these games, but I think Team USA should cruise to a gold medal.
Yep, and it would be their 7th straight gold medal, dating back to 1996 when they started this streak. And having basically the Twin Towers with Stewart and Wilson is going to be tough to stop in general. But I will say, unlike the men, because the men, I would say you could probably fill up one hand with teams that you might actually be concerned about Team USA playing. I mean, Serbia for me was one of them, but they've absolutely been handling them. Nikola Jokic can't do it all by himself. He needs a little bit from Nikola Jovic, from Bogdan Bogdanovic. Hasn't been getting that as much as they have wanted. Canada on the men's side definitely concerns me. The nucleus that they have, they basically have an entire team of NBA players. I think there's only one guy on Team Canada who has not had NBA experience, and they got past Greece in the first game. Greece is very similar to Serbia, where it's kind of Giannis. There's Papa Giannis, former Sacramento King, shout out. But it's Giannis Antetokounmpo, basically, and everybody else, and that's the case for Serbia. But my overall point is I'm getting too far in the weeds, rambling right now. But the point is just that with the men, they could easily be, maybe not easily, but they could definitely be defeated. I don't think it's possible for the women, because when I look at the other teams for the women, like I thought coming into these Olympics that Team Australia would be someone that could at least compete with them. But then Australia lost to Nigeria by double digits yesterday, and Nigeria got its first Olympic win ever in women's basketball. So that's not very encouraging for Australia. Germany is one of the few teams that I'm kind of worried about. They have the Sabali sisters who both play in the WNBA. They have it's like Leonie Fidic, who plays for the New York Liberty. She's on Team Germany as well. So Germany has a couple WNBA players that they could be concerned with. Canada has a couple WNBA players as well. Kia Nurse, Aaliyah Edwards. France as well with Maureen Johannes, a couple others. So the point is that even the teams that seem like they'll be the most competitive for the women, they likely, like, they would have to be basically playing like their best game that day to even have a shot at beating Team USA. And Team USA would have to be off their game, which I think it's unanimous here that none of us think that'll happen. And Team USA women should cruise to another gold as we keep things moving here on episode 106, Stats Over Politics. Guys, now let's jump over to the NFL, as we've had 2 contract extensions in the past week. Actually, we're going to go in chronological order, so let's start with the Dolphins. And Tua Tagovailoa agreed to a 4-year, $212.4 million contract extension. Jaevon, what say you?
We were kind of expecting what Tua would get. I think I said on previous podcasts. Tua is kind of where I think Purdy and the Niners are going to base it off of. Like, what do we feel like Tua is going to get? I think it was somewhere around 52 a year. I'm just glad Tua didn't reset the market. I still think like these like Trevor Lawrence is making 55. I think that's kind of outrageous. But the Jags are kind of, they're handcuffed to a pole. If, they don't re-sign Trevor Lawrence, what are they without him? They're a nothing franchise, and I feel like stability matters to a lot of GMs and owners. They like their jobs. Well, obviously the owner um, is, the overseer, but GMs would rather be, relevant than, dead in the water. That means because they wouldn't have a job to go back to. So, with this Tua signing, how good are the Dolphins? I mean, we saw Tua in the playoffs this last year in inclement weather. He's not really the best quarterback in those positions. Can you win a playoff game with Tua? Perhaps. Can you win a division with Tua? Maybe. I'm not sure. But the Dolphins, they beat up on bad teams, and I feel like that's half the battle. And if you win a couple of, games that are 50-50 for you, you can consistently get to the playoffs. So I think Tua, I mean, hey, the Dolphins are kind of like I feel like they're a middle of the pack team. They have two really, really, really great receivers. I think they have a good, actually, I think they have a really good offensive play caller in Mike McDaniel. We'll see how good their defense will be this year, but I mean, hey, yippee, Tua signed another deal. I don't really know what to think about it, just because I get where the market is, but it's like, you got to give him 50 plus million? I'm not sure, but I mean, the market is the market, so we'll see where that stands. But hey, yeah. So now the Niners are going to be like, all right, well, Tua just got this, and Trevor Lawrence just got this, so that's the starting point. So, yeah.
Kevin, back in the Alabama days, Tua Tagovailoa took Jalen Hurts' job. Now it seems like Jalen Hurts has had a better NFL career to this point with less time. What do you think about this contract extension?
Like Toddy said, it's something that has to get done. Everyone wants to say don't pay the quarterback all that money, but then you have to look at the other side of the coin and what else is out there. You don't want to be bad enough to get a top pick, and you have Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, who you just paid all this money to, and you have Mike McDaniel, who's a hell of a play caller, one of the top in the league. So you have to give him an adequate thrower of the ball. So Tua Tagovailoa, like I mentioned, has one of the top two receivers in the NFL in Tyreek Hill. Almost had 2,000 yards last year. Only played 16 games, and finished with almost 1,800 yards. So Tyreek Hill is the real deal. It came out today that he was the only receiver that has 99 overall in this upcoming Madden video game. You see the numbers, and the first thing that you think of this is what happened in the playoffs. They were 1-6 this season against teams that ended up in the playoffs. The one team that they beat were the Dallas Cowgirls. So what does that really say? You're paying him to beat up on the Jets, beat up on all these non-playoff teams, the Jaguars, the Panthers. Is that what you're going to pay annually $53.1 million for? He's now the third highest paid quarterback behind Trevor Lawrence and Joe Burrow. Over that stretch of them only going 1-6 first playoff teams, he had 7 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. Tua is not paid to be the playmaker. He's paid to sit there and not fuck up. I've seen a lot of other quarterbacks in Hard Knocks. I've never seen any of them with a camera on their helmet, so the coach can exactly see what the hell you saw before you threw what you threw. Like Toddy said, can Tua win you a playoff game? I mean, maybe. But $53.1 million, like Toddy said, the market is the market. He's making more than two-time MVP and Lamar Jackson. He's making more than a guy who's been to a Super Bowl. And Jalen Hurts, he's making more money than a two-time Super Bowl champion, Patrick Mahomes. So when you look at the money, Shaun's really a good one to say this. The market is the market. And that's just what you have to pay. No matter how bad your quarterback is, when it's their time to come up to be paid, that's what you have to pay. The line in the sand is, what, 52 mil?
Well, the thing is about this is that, like, as we've said countless times, and we don't need to belabor the point, but like basically if you have a serviceable quarterback or you don't have an immediate replacement, then you have to pay him. And interesting because Patrick Mahomes, and being the great politician and leader of the NFL that he is, he said this past week when he was asked, like, do you think you're underpaid now? Because if you look at it, Patrick Mahomes is he in the top 10 anymore?
It was like 8th or something like that. Or no, probably not anymore.
I think
exactly.
He's 10. I think it's exactly 10. So, I can look it up.
Exactly. So he's been bumped down to like barely even being in the top 10. And so he's supporting his peers by saying, no, it's good. They need to get paid, yada, yada, yada. But like, it's no longer, because that's the thing too. Spoiler alert. Later on in the podcast, we're going to talk about the NFL 100 through 31. We're each going to give our top 10 players list. And as I was compiling that list, I was thinking about so many guys. And when you look at the guys who get paid at every other position except for quarterback, you have to be in the top 5, bare minimum, top 10 at your position to get that kind of money. But if you're a quarterback, you just got to be one of 32, basically. If you're one of 32, then you can get paid. But if you're a wide receiver, I'm not even going to talk about running backs, but if you're a wide receiver, tight end, what have you, then you got to be in the top 10 minimum, top 5 of your class. And so this was kind of just the thing that the Dolphins had to do, as has already been said. Kevin, I know you looked it up. Is he actually number 10 or?
He's number 11 now, $45 million a year.
So there you go. Not even the spoiler alert. The best player in the NFL is not even a top 10 paid quarterback. Absolutely insane. But I guess
that's what Brady used to do. He said I don't think he was ever the highest paid quarterback.
He was. Wasn't he? Wasn't he when he signed the 10-year, $450 million deal?
No, he said Tom Brady, not Patrick.
Oh, I'm sorry. I took off my headphones for a second. I apologize, Toddy.
Yeah, Brady did. I think he did the exact same thing. So I feel like Mahomes, he gets it. He's like, you need other guys to help you win.
Yeah.
So
it's a fair point. And so even though this next topic is basically the same exact discussion, I do think that it's a little different because even though Tua Tagovailoa has dealt with injuries in his career and he hasn't even won a playoff game yet in his career, I will say that we have seen a much, much, much larger sample size from Tua than we have from the next guy who just got paid. And that's Jordan Love, who got a 4-year, $220 million extension from the Green Bay Packers. I do think that this is something that they had to do because, as I had just said, they don't have an immediate replacement that's going to be better. But, Kevin, in my opinion, putting aside, like, the semantics, I don't think that Jordan Love was worthy of this contract. Like, he had one good season. He beat the fucking scrubs of the playoffs to get his one playoff win. He took out the Dallas Cowgirls, who can't win a playoff game to save their lives. And so it's like they had to do this, but was he deserving of it? I don't think so. Jaevon, what about you?
Hey man, I posted this on my my Instagram story a couple of days ago when the story broke, and I was getting some Packer fans. Khalil Austin, one of those guys that came at me and said, "You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know ball." And I was like, "Hey man, let's just do some math. You're saying off of 9 games, he is going to be the highest, tied for the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. He got $55 million a year over 4 years. What he did, $220 for 4. So I see both sides of it. So from the Packers standpoint, you're like, all right, as you know, Kevin listed, I think last week it was I forgot who the backup quarterbacks were, but I remember a Shaun Clifford. There's a Easton Stick, I think he said was in there. Yep. You take Jordan Love out of that. What are the Packers? You throw those guys in there. What are they gonna? What's the record gonna be next year? What are they gonna go like? They win 3 games next year? Probably. Yeah. So first half of the season, not so great. I mean, you're losing to Danny DeVito. You're getting blown out at home by the Lions on that Thursday.
I think we lost
game, which lost me a lot of money. Thank you, Jordan Love. I mean, they're just they had some bad games in that first half of the year. Thanksgiving comes around. Jordan Love's throwing dimes. They're on Thanksgiving. They're like, well, here come the Packers, And then they crawl their way into the playoffs. I think it takes the last couple of weeks for them to kind of solidify themselves going in, and they're a touchdown dog in the playoffs on the road to the Dallas Cowboys. And I was like, I'm not sure if the Packers win, but I would definitely take them to cover the spread. We'll see kind of what it looks like. And they kind of go out there and when I say obliterate the Cowboys, it was bad. Like almost over in like the first half. That's how bad that game was. And they kind of came out and they took the team by storm. And even it carried on into the next week when they played the San Francisco 49ers on the road. And for a half, they looked like they were the better team. They looked like the Packers, are they going to shock the world and go into San Francisco with Santa Clara at Levi Stadium and dethrone the San Francisco 49ers? And then, things started to happen. I thought Jordan Love played okay in that game. He didn't play great. So the Packers are like, whoa, shit. The first year started. This is what he did. And what was their record last year? I think they went 10-7.
Yeah, something that sounds about right.
10-7 first year. And this is basically all of 1 year. He's going to be the highest paid guy. I don't know. That's just a little much for me off of half a season. I get there's some playoff success in there, but can he duplicate this for a full year? And that was kind of a question. Even going into the playoffs last year, like Jordan Love started playing good, but he needs to play good for an entire season. And I think that's fair to say that we still haven't seen enough. Now, playoff success is what a lot of quarterbacks usually get paid off of. And he's won a playoff game. Trevor Lawrence won a playoff game. Tua Tagovailoa has not, but the Dolphins are pretty much trapped. So it usually kind of comes down to front office and production for when guys get paid, because the front office is like, all right, if we don't sign this guy, what are we going to do? We need a quarterback. So, like, if we don't sign this guy, we're, in NFL hell, in a wasteland when you don't have a quarterback. You're kind of just stuck. And then if we do sign him, you're handicapping your team because the quarterback accounts for so much of the cap. And we have to be formidable. So I kind of see both sides of it. I don't know if I would have gave him groundbreaking money and have him, reset the market per se. But I don't know, man. I would like to see a little bit more from Jordan Love. I think he's very talented. Has a lot of, traits that you would love to have in a quarterback. He's young. So, all be it to him. I know he's definitely happy for signing, generational money for him and his family. But, I mean, would love to see a lot more. Would love to see more. He's on a trajectory of being the next guy for the Packers. But definitely would like to see a lot more from Jordan Love. And him, can he be consistent going forward?
Kevin, that's two people that aren't really sure if he should have been paid or at least paid this much. What say you?
So, 1 out of 10, no number order in Pacific. Is Justin Herbert a top 10 quarterback?
Yeah.
Why?
No.
Numbers.
Justin Herbert not top 10 is crazy.
So it's crazy to say someone that Justin Herbert is not top 10, right? Go ahead, Shaun. Tell us the list. You don't have to be specific with numbers. Just give us 10 quarterbacks better than Justin Herbert.
Okay. Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts. Okay, maybe I was wrong. Aaron Rodgers, I'd also count him in there. Help me out, guys. Drawing blanks.
No, help me out. You're up there. You're up.
The answer, fact. He is the top 10 quarterback.
All right, so everyone on this panel believes Justin Herbert is a top 10 quarterback.
Not top 5.
Not top 5, top 10.
Yes.
0 playoff wins. Kyler Murray, once at 7 time. Set the market, 46.1. 0 playoff wins. Tua, 53.1, just signed. Penn is not, the ink isn't even dry yet. no playoff wins. And they all have seasons on seasons on seasons. What did Jordan Love do in his first year as a starter? First half, shaky. Second half, you can say one of the top quarterbacks in the NFC. He was second in touchdowns in the NFL. And he is paid this money, not one, because he won a playoff game, but two, because he is the offense. You look to your right, you see Christian Watson, a guy we thought was going to be this and that. You look to your left, you got Romeo Doubs, and you look to the slot, and you got Jalen Reed. Arguably bottom half of the league.
I'm gonna disagree with you on that one. I think they're really good.
I can name you 6 better trios, 7 better trios.
Sure, but I don't think that they're.
But what you're basing off is potential. I'm basing off what we've seen. Because you still think Christian Watson could go.
Yeah.
And he can't stay on the field, so I don't know where he's going to go. So they are paying Jordan Love this money to run the show. Tua got paid that money to not fuck the show up. This guy has – people say it's only 1 year. If Tua got the chance to sit behind a Hall of Fame MVP quarterback for 3 years, everybody in Miami is saying, not his fault, you know. He did sit behind MVP. It's not like he sat behind Carson Wentz, you know. It's not like he sat behind a Mitchell Trubisky. So you get paid when you produce and you dominate, and that's what he did. So I think this is a great extension from him. He said he wasn't going to go out there and play until then, and we know, like Toddy mentioned, we mentioned the quarterback room without Jordan Love. Like I mentioned with Tua, you're not going to want to tank the season to then get one of these good quarterbacks. You want to win games and win now. You're getting the pieces around. You just got into Josh Jacobs, a Darnell Savage. You have all these pieces on defense. Let's put it together. And Toddy, the pack is back.
The pack is back. That was a clip that I was sending around to all of my friends.
Nonstop.
I was so ready to post that on my story when they beat y'all. I had a whole post. The pack is back. And I was like, oh, next to go to the drafts.
There's a lot of things in Kevin's drafts. We'll just say that. A lot of things.
Oh, man. Yeah. Shaun, I am telling you this, but if the Timberwolves would have lost to the Nuggets, I was coming for Wes. I was coming. Because now that you can do on Instagram, you don't have to show their @name. He would tag me in all of their posts. And Wes is posting 8-9 videos, 8-9 pictures, 8-9 gifs, and all of them behind him. Kevin did. My phone's going off. It looks like Kevin. Who is texting you? I'm like, fucking Wesley. And I'm the one person who be saying all this shit because we own the Vikings. So he's like, you know what, Kevin? This is basketball season. Kings are at home. I got to get my shit. And I was like, you know what? I respect it. I can't be mad at it.
I know what you mean. It wasn't like as much, but he started doing it to me too because as we know, like I picked the Timberwolves at the beginning of the playoffs, but the first game that I picked against them, oh my God, he started coming at my neck. And then I picked him again, and he was like, nah, stay on that side. We don't need you. I was like, and like, so he started tagging like my professional journalism account nonstop, and he would do the same exact thing. But I also noticed he would do it to the Stats Over Politics page too. Like I'd see like 8 notifications. Like Kevin, you know what it looks like, and Toddy, you do too. Like when you have multiple accounts logged in, and it might say like 8 notifications or whatever under an account name. And I was like, oh dang, like did we have a clip blow up or something? Then I open it, and I'm like, oh no, this is all messages. Like who's sending us? Then I open it up, it's just Wes. Just and literally, like you said, every single post, it's like, here's a photo of Anthony Edwards, mentions Stats Over Politics, Kevin Dent, Shaun Holko, Jaevon Toddy. Yeah.
It got so bad I told Toddy about it. So Toddy told me, hey, man, stop bullying Kevin, all right? Take it easy on him. And I told Toddy that in confidence. And he ran off and told Wes, and Wes like, oh, you're calling for backup now? I'm like, see, fuck you, Toddy. This is why I can't tell Toddy nothing because, see, I'm his boys. If we have the brotherly instinct, when someone's getting on us, we got to help him out. And it just dug me a deeper hole.
Yeah, that Wes was definitely the hater of the year, but like you said, understandably so, though. Definitely understandably so. As now we're moving on to one of our recurring segments, Kevin.
Let's do it, ladies and gentlemen. We were just talking about this man. He has been paid. So it's only right that we start this off with a this or that. Jordan Love. So, first name up, Anthony Richardson.
You guys know I love Rich. You know I love Rich. Wow.
Just to stay consistent based on what I just said, give me Richardson. I haven't seen enough. I like Richardson's build, even though he can't stay healthy.
Wow. I have to go with Jordan Love, but after this season, I will definitely. I have to be, like Shaun was saying, consistent because you got to give him respect to win a playoff game. So he's done it.
It's against the Cowboys, though. That's like a
playoff win is a playoff win.
like a consolation prize.
It's going to be really good. But right now, I have to say Jordan Love. But after this season, I will probably be on. Like Anthony Richardson's going to be one of them ones. As Kev likes to say, I think he's going to be one of them ones. So,
yeah, I'm going to go Jordan Love as well.
Yeah.
Next name up, Toddy's guy, Baker Mayfield. Also won a playoff game.
I'm going to say Jordan Love. He's younger. He's younger. Upside. Yeah, I'll say Baker Mayfield.
Baker was damn near out of the league.
Sorry, Jordan Love.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Jordan Love as well. Next name, he is the man who followed him, Aaron Rodgers.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Right now is probably what Kevin's trying to point at. Like, is he better than him right now? He's younger. Aaron Rodgers coming off an Achilles. But like, if Aaron Rodgers,
it's crazy to say Aaron Rodgers. I mean, it's not crazy to say Jordan Love. It's not.
So,
crazy.
Like, I get where Kevin is coming from. He's about to be 40, but if you have Aaron Rodgers on your team as a quarterback, you have a chance to win a Super Bowl. So that's why it's like.
Ask a Jets fan how they feel about that statement.
Yeah, they are
4 plays.
It was a lot to go with. I'm going to say Aaron Rodgers, but I get where Kevin's coming from.
Before we move on to the next name too, because I know that this is a quick fire, but I did just want to add one thing because it's like when we're thinking Anthony Richardson and Jordan Love, I picked Anthony Richardson based on potential and what I think he could do. And now in this scenario, Jordan Love and Aaron Rodgers, you're picking Jordan Love over Aaron Rodgers because of potential and what you think he's going to do. I have seen it from Aaron Rodgers. Give me Aaron Rodgers 10 times out of 10, even on a bum leg.
All right. It's about to get testy. Next name. Caleb Williams.
You guys know where I'm at on Caleb.
Jordan Love.
Said he was a top 15 quarterback his junior year in college. Caleb Williams.
It's definitely Jordan Love, but it's
not
even funny.
That's okay.
Okay. But I have to add something else to this one too. Jaevon, you remember when we had a very prominent NFL player on this podcast and we asked him, is Caleb Williams already a top 15 NFL quarterback without ever taking a snap? What did he say? I need to see him play in the NFL before I can even consider him a top 32 quarterback. I'm going with Mike Walker, and you
guys will see.
I'll take Jordan Love right now. I mean, this is going to be on episode 200 when we're talking about our worst takes, and Toddy's going to be like, hey, you guys remember when you took Jordan Love over Caleb Williams?
Next name, Kirk Cousins.
Jordan Love.
Kirk Cousins.
No.
It's not crazy to say Kirk. It's not crazy to say Kirk. I'm going to go Jordan because we see it in the playoffs, but it's not crazy to say Kirk. It's not crazy to say Kirk.
Consistency in the playoffs.
Stats over politics.
Next name, Coleridge Bernard, a.k.a. C.J. Stroud.
Yeah.
C.J. Stroud.
CJ is going to be a top 5 guy.
I'm going to go C.J. Stroud as well. Next name, Justin Herbert.
Well, I just made myself look like an ass. Justin Herbert.
I'm going to go Justin Herbert as well. Next name, Jared Goff.
Jordan Love. Mobility. That's the difference.
He's been to
NFC championships, Super Bowls.
Different.
Jared Goff wins in the playoffs.
I'll go with Jordan Love.
Give me Jared Goff, baby. Cal Berkeley. Next name.
I'm mad at it.
Trevor Lawrence.
This is actually where I would see, like, they're a lot closer, in my opinion. And I think it's very, very close.
So who's in the lead?
Give me Trevor.
Yeah.
Bro, one is generational. One should not have been a top 10 or a first round pick. Like when Jordan Love got picked 25th overall by the Packers, like a lot of people thought he was going to be a second or third round pick. And then they reached.
I'm going to go with Jordan Love.
It's close. I'll say Trevor Lawrence, but it's very close.
All right, next name, I will go first. Brock Purdy, and I'm taking Jordan Love.
Give me Brock.
Figured that's how that
Give me Purdy.
Go. I thought they were going to say nothing, just drink the cup. just go on, Kevin, because I'm just going to do this.
If our podcast was only like on YouTube and it wasn't, if we didn't have an audio only platform, then yeah, I would have. But for the listeners, give me Brock.
All right, and that concludes our this or that. We also have another this or that coming up. So we saw this man make the decision on free agency day. Told Woj, I got a personal statement. This needs to be heard. Tyus Jones. First name on this list. Marcus Smart.
Marcus Smart.
I'm taking Tyus Jones every day of the week.
Of course.
Chris Paul.
Chris Paul.
Now?
Chris Paul.
Oh, yeah. Probably Chris. Oh.
I'm going Tyus.
Sure.
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 Jordan Poole.
Oh, give me Tyus.
Give me Jordan Poole.
This is tough.
Is it tough, Kevin?
Dude, I've been Team Jordan for a minute, man. I gotta go pool party. I gotta go pool party. Second name, D'Angelo Russell.
Come on, man. I got ice in my veins. Give me D-Lo.
OH.
I'm going Tyus Jones.
Of course you are. You hater.
I'm not a hater.
Kevin.
Don't you have a D-Lo jersey?
I do have a D-Lo jersey.
That's crazy.
Hey, man, doesn't mean he's better than Tyus Jones.
Kevin, OH. I needed to hear that.
I couldn't do it because I just said I'd have a D-Lo jersey and didn't represent him, so I couldn't do it with my true pride in my chest because Toddy called me out again.
That's a starting guard in the league. You think it's better? You think
Tyus Jones is a starting guard in the league?
For who? For the Wizards?
For the Phoenix Suns?
Well, yeah, they don't have anybody else.
Hey, neither do the Lakers. Gabe Benson ain't gonna start.
He's
Tyus Jones would not start over D'Angelo Russell.
Yeah, he's starting on the Suns.
I'm saying
today the Lakers would change D'Angelo Russell for Tyus Jones in a heartbeat.
No, they wouldn't. The contracts ain't the same. That's why.
If they were both worth a Snickers bar, they're taking Tyus Jones.
Wow, that's crazy. Maybe I must be a casual because I do not think Tyus Jones is this good.
Tyus Jones is one of the best backup point guards in the league. That's why.
I'll give him that. But he ain't. That means that he is not a top 30 point guard. Because if you're a top 30 point guard, then you're starting.
All right.
Next name, Emmanuel Quickly.
No, Tyus Jones.
Give me Quickly. You got the bag for a reason.
Yeah, I'm going Quickly for sure.
Wow.
Next name, Russell Westbrook.
Ooh, Westbrook.
I gotta respect Westbrook.
Hell no, you don't.
He's an MVP.
I don't give a damn. Tyus Jones all the way. Last name, Fred VanVleet.
Ooh. Champion.
Give me Freddie.
I'll probably take Fred VanVleet.
I'm going Tyus as well.
Of course.
And that concludes with this or that. The fact that you guys said D'Angelo Russell is better than Tyus Jones is insane.
It's really not. It's really not that crazy. I feel like that might be something that'll blow it.
Besides a one All-Star season, what has D'Lo
Tyus
done?
Jones won All-Star?
I'm saying besides that 1 year, What has he done that's to give you the point to say that he's better than Tyus Jones?
What did D'Lo do?
D'Lo could
trade
make
the same amount of times.
Yeah. D'Lo could make one All-Star team and retire, and he still has a better career than Tyus Jones, based on that.
So what happens if the Suns get a ring? And now he has a ring. Does that All-Star stamp his ring?
Maybe.
No. Okay. Thanasis Antetokounmpo has a ring.
So does Jason Tatum. You're right.
Oh.
Man, there's a whole bunch of niggas out there.
Oh,
You're right.
I just want to add one thing before
Tyus Jones or Jason Tatum.
Last.
might pick Tyus Jones.
Two Dookies. I don't know if I can pick, dog. That's hard.
Well, did you guys notice the theme in all of my answers?
The opposite.
Yeah, I literally picked against Tyus Jones every single time. So
when he picked against Jordan Poole, I was like, yeah, Shaun's just trolling. Whoever I could have said Jaevon Toddy. He would have said Jaevon Toddy.
Hey, Toddy gets to the fucking bucket. Toddy knows how to get
Toddy with the goggles, boy. Oh man, that was an assassin.
Yeah, indeed. You can see the goggles in the hand right there. In the left hand.
God! Why are we doing this?
Damn, the score's 18-32. Shit. Y'all wasn't there to win. You look good though.
Thanks, Kevin.
Yeah. Anyways, as we're keeping things moving, I want to discuss. So we're going over the NFL Top 100, which is through 31. So obviously the top 30 players still need to be revealed. Let me ask you guys. You can be the voice of our audience here. Should I read off 1 through 31, or excuse me, 100 through 31? Okay, great. So basically, the top 100 list has come out through 31. If you're intrigued to see where your favorite player ranks, look it up. The thing that made me the most happy is that at number 31, from Sacramento State University by way of Fresno State, DaRon Bland. I said his name so wrong. DaRon Bland, the only Dallas Cowboy that I am a fan of. Shout out to him. Anyways, guys, now we have our
hold on.
Top 10.
We got to go back to NFL Top 100 because DaRon Bland should not have made that list at 31. No way, no shame. He's not better than Sauce Gardner. And you don't even believe that.
Wait, Sauce is on the – he's already been on the list?
Sauce is 38. DaRon Bland is 31. There's no way in hell DaRon Bland is better than Sauce Gardner.
Well,
in no way, shape, or form. I get it. He played with the Starters helmet. I get it.
When I was younger, I used to really put a lot of
precedence
lists because it was like by the players. But then when you start seeing guys like, DaRon Bland over Sauce Gardner, it's like, there's no way and no how that he should be on any list higher than Sauce Gardner. So,
dude, Saquon at 86 is disrespectful as shit.
And Kevin is taking over his newfound running back.
Even if he was still a Giant, 80. You're telling me there are 85 better players in the NFL than Saquon Barkley?
Yes,
that's crazy.
That's why I'm trying to I don't really take too much into this list now. Like I used to. Like when I was younger, it was cool to watch. Summer dog days of summer. Top 100 is on. Let's go watch Top 100, record it all, and watch it. But now it's like when you see things like that, Brandon Ayuk is 66 on this list. You're like, okay, let's figure it out a different way. But
Toddy lost some money last year because of this top 100.
Yeah.
Brandon Ayuk.
But I think. Go ahead, Shaun.
Well, I was just gonna say, the reason why I really don't care about this list at all, and I understand why we're talking about it. It's the dog day summer, and it gives us good material. But why I don't really give a shit about it is like Toddy. Even though I wasn't as young when I actually gave this list credibility, actually in recent years, as recent as 4 years ago, I thought this list was pretty damn good. And I was like, you know what? This list is accurate. It's smart, well-researched. But now in hindsight, 4 years later, I'm not sure how much credibility we should give to this list. Because to have Jimmy Garoppolo 20 ranked 43rd. 43rd. Come on. Hell no. Hell no. Devontae Adams probably saw that list back in 2020 and was like, I can't believe they got that scrub ranked 43rd, and then he ended up having to play with them.
Have you guys seen him on receiver? He is unhinged.
Yeah, bro.
Get me out of here. He's going to get me killed. Get me out of here.
I'm going to lose my life.
The funniest part about that, bro, was like episode 3 or 4 when they had his daughter's birthday party, and the wife's like, "Yeah, half the people knew what he did and half didn't." So they were like, they got one. They talked to one of the ladies. They go, "We put the house in there." And we were like, "Whoa, what the fuck?" And they get there, they're just looking around like, "Oh, well, this girl is doing good for herself."
Yeah, I had no idea.
And then one of the girls like, "My husband's like, babe, it's Devontae Adams," and she goes, "Who?" Could you imagine going to Devontae Adams' house and be like, "Damn, this dude must be like a lawyer or something."
Yeah, my son goes to his daughter's. My son and daughter, they go to the same school, and then all of a sudden it's Devontae Adams.
All right.
Well, damn, what's the last name? Yeah.
It's funny though, because I don't ever drop my kid off at school, so they never see him, and it's just crazy. The first interaction is, "Oh, hello, sir."
Well, and plus, like, Adams is a pretty generic last name. It's not like it's not like you're going to the Mahomes
McCaffrey.
House. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Mahomes. It's your last name. Kelsey.
Hurts. Damn, no reaction. No, I just keep going.
So, guys,
try to sneak it in
there. You ain't getting us there. But before we get to our individual top 10, I'm just going to keep going. Before we get to our individual top 10 list, and we'll break it down 10-6, 5-1. But before we give our individual list, did you guys have anything else that stood out to you, either good or bad, from the NFL Top 100? Kevin, I know that you mentioned, obviously, Sauce over Duran, but were there any others that were really screaming at you that you wanted to mention?
I think Jared Goff at 48 is kind of insane.
Yeah, I agree. Top 50 is nuts. I'll give him top 100.
It's top 100 for sure, but top 50 is kind of tough to say.
Yeah.
And I know the first thing y'all gonna say is bias. Lane Johnson at 41 is nuts. He's
Lane Johnson is one of the best right tackles.
Yeah, Lane Johnson. I think top 30 for Lane would have been cool, but 41 is kind of crazy. And then obviously Sauce Gardner at 38, I thought was insane.
Joe Burrow.
Toddy, do you have anyone?
Aaron Rodgers at 92 is also kind of nuts. But I know he didn't play, but 92.
They wasn't going to leave him. He won. I think he won one of the years. He won it.
Yeah.
Players. So I feel like out of their respect, they were trying to just leave him on there,
fit him on the list somewhere. Yeah. But 96 is crazy. You're telling me Jared Goff is better than Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah. So that's why I'm like, is how much can you got to take this list with a grain of salt at this point. So. And then I kind of think it's a year-to-year list, like Kevin was saying. Are we going to see Duran Bland on this list ever again? Maybe not. But like last year, I think he led the league in picks, so it's like, oh, well, he was the better player last year.
And pick sixes. He had six in a year.
Yeah, so I don't even think we'll see that again. So it's entertaining to watch the list, and when they start breaking down people, you get one of the top guys in the league breaking down another guy and what they usually do. It's cool to watch, but I don't know if Sauce Gardner. Everybody and their mother would pick Sauce Gardner over Duran Bland. I think that's the Cowboys would do that in a heartbeat. So I really don't nowadays. Like I used to religiously watch this, but now it's like I kind of wait till it gets to like 20s. And then start kind of tuning in a little bit more, maybe, yeah. And so, like they do 10-6, and then they do 5-1 to kind of like
build the
suspense, get a little bit more viewership. But yeah, I haven't really paid attention too much into the list like that. But it's entertaining to watch.
Speaking of going 10-6, 5-1, let's do it. So I'll take the plunge. You guys can roast me if I have someone in my top 10 that shouldn't be close, but I think my list is pretty good. So I'll go 10-6, then we'll go to Kevin next, then Jaevon, and then we'll reverse the order. Jaevon, you can.
I want Kevin to go last.
Okay. All right. So there you go. Sounds good. So number 10 on Shaun's NFL top 10 list. Josh Allen. Number 9, Trent Williams, the best offensive lineman in the NFL. Number 8, one of the guys that he's trying his best to stop, reigning Defensive Player of the Year from Texas A&M University, Myles Garrett. Number 7, the second best quarterback in the NFL, Lamar Jackson. And number 6, another one of those guys that Trent Williams is trying to stop, TJ Watt. So my 10 through 6, Josh Allen, Trent Williams, Myles Garrett, Lamar Jackson, TJ Watt. Toddy, what's 10 through 6 for you?
I got some similar names on here. At 10, I have Travis Kelce. I think he's the best tight end in the league. I feel like him and Mahomes, the connection that he brings to the Chiefs receiving core last year was immense based off of what they were kind of had at receiver last year to what they have now is apples and oranges. But I think Travis Kelce deserves a top 10 spot. At number 9, I have TJ Watt. I feel like his numbers every year you could damn near give him Defensive Player of the Year. Injuries did plague him last year, but I do think that when he's on the field, he literally wrecks game plans. Like we were like on Gary's last episode, we were just talking about like the Steelers won't be able to do shit unless TJ Watt scored the touchdown because Kenny Pickett couldn't get him up and down the field. You needed a strip sack or a fumble or an interception return, and it was caused by TJ Watt. So he's a guy that can, change the position of the field and a guy that can literally wreck a game plan week in, week out. So TJ Watt, I think, deserves to be on this list. At number 8, go with Nicholas John Bosa. I think he's one of the guys that can definitely wreck game plans. He was the former, Defensive Player of the year before. I think he's a guy that not only can he, stuff the stat sheet, but I do think guys have to game plan around him. And whether that's going to double teaming and triple teaming, you have to scheme around a guy like Nick Bosa. And I feel like that plays a lot into, going into every Sunday. And I feel like he's a guy that can change the game, whether that's getting more, seeing a lot more on the defensive side of the ball and letting other guys eat because he's getting so much attention, or if that's just going out and getting sacks. So he's proven week in and week out that he's one of the best guys in the league. So I'm going to go with Nick Bosa at number 8. At number 7, I'm going with Tyreek Hill. I think Tyreek Hill is one of the best receivers in the league. He's a guy that your defense has to know where you're at all times on the field. We saw with even in him and kind of looking back at it now that Patrick Mahomes had Tyreek Hill on his team was pretty unfair, like almost a cheat code. When you have the best coach, the best quarterback, and the best receiver, best tight end, like it's one of the best offenses in the league. Like that's insane. Their defense might not have been as good back then, but when Tyreek Hill was on the Chiefs, it was damn near a cheat code every week. Now being on the Dolphins, he's still putting up the same numbers because he got another offensive genius scheming up plays for him. So he's got to be. We were talking about him, breaking the touchdown record at some point in time last year. Kind of slowed up a little bit at the end of the season, but I do think Tyreek Hill is one of those guys, a game changer, in my opinion. That's kind of what my list kind of consists of. I'm thinking of guys that literally can change the game at any given moment. So I'm going to go with Tyreek Hill at 7. Another guy where I'm going to go with Christian McCaffrey at 6. I think Christian McCaffrey coming off a 20 touchdown season. Obviously, they made him the cover of Madden. He's probably going to be a 99 guy. I'm not saying that video games have anything to do with it, but it's just based off his production off the field. We heard rumblings of him not being at OTAs. It was like, oh, he's getting married. It has nothing to do with his contract. A couple days go by, maybe like a couple weeks actually go by. Christian McCaffrey has gotten an $8 million raise and is now, he already was the highest paid running back in the league. And now he's miles ahead of everybody else. You need him to run the ball, he can run the ball. You need him to catch passes. He caught 80 balls last year. That's more than some receivers out there. So, I mean, Christian McCaffrey can pretty much do it all. That's what you need out of your running back nowadays, as Kevin can attest to. Saquon Barkley is a guy who can do it all. You got to be able to run and catch. It's not you're just going downhill, hitting the A gap every single week. Got to be able to run between the tackles, pass protect, and catch the ball in the backfield. So I think Christian McCaffrey is literally the ultimate back, and a lot of guys model their game after him. So I think McCaffrey has to be in your top 10 at some point in time. So my 10 to 6, if we want to review that, we have Travis Kelce at 10, TJ Watt at 9, we have Nick Bosa at number 8, Tyreek Hill at 7, and Christian McCaffrey at number 6.
All right, so Kevin's list for number 10, I have Micah Parsons. Arguably one of the best defenders in the game. The stats mine I'll show it, only finished with 14 sacks this year. He has nobody else on that defensive line with him, so he is getting double and triple team every snap of the game. He came in as an outside linebacker, and now he's putting his hand in the turf. So for him to change positions in the NFL with the best men in the world, and for him to continue to dominate, might be one of the highest paid non-quarterbacks in the NFL here coming up soon. At 9, TJ Watt. One of the best defensive players in the NFL, regardless of position. Led the NFL in sacks and notched 4 forced fumbles. At 7, I have CeeDee Lamb. Nobody in the NFL got more targets than CeeDee Lamb at 181 targets. Finished with 135 catches and 1,749 yards. When he gets his payment, when that hits the bank, when he hits the cash app, he'll be the second highest non-paid quarterback in the NFL, hands down. At 7, I have A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown last year went on a historic run. One game from Calvin Johnson's record of 125 yards plus in a game. A.J. Brown is a dominant player when he touches the field, arguably a top 3 receiver in my book. Yeah, you can say CeeDee Lamb has better stats, but like I said, no one in the NFL is getting 181 targets. No one. He was the highest by 25. So you give A.J. Brown 181 targets, we can have that conversation. So A.J. Brown I have at 6.
That's insane.
So I finished. So 10 was TJ Watt, 10 was Micah, 9 was TJ, 7 was CD, and 6 was AJ Brown.
I'll give Kevin a lot of credit for him to have 2 Cowboys on his list. That's showing a lot.
Well, it burned me, bro. It hurt. Burned me to the core.
I don't think
I was surprised Trent made a top 10.
Trent, yeah,
and Bosa. I don't think Bosa.
I don't think AJ is. I think AJ is more. I think Nick Bosa is more important to his team than AJ Brown.
I mean, we've seen games where Nick Bosa doesn't do anything, you still win. How many games we see AJ Brown do nothing and we win?
That's a fair point.
You mean Skims boy?
The thing about Kevin's 10 through 6 is that when I heard CD, I was a little surprised. When I heard AJ, I was shocked. I was shocked. I did not expect to hear AJ Brown. But hey,
I didn't even have him in my.
Everyone has their own list. That's understandable.
I made an honor.
I would love to talk shit about Kevin's choice of AJ Brown at number 6 and say that it's your bias just shining through, but I got 3 Niners in the top 10, so my bias is fucking through.
So does Toddy. I just got one.
Well, to be honest though, Toddy already mentioned 2 names that I have in my top 5. So he has them probably more realistic than I do. Anyways, here's my top 5.
I'm not gonna lie. I was kind of. Oh wait, go ahead, Shaun. Go ahead.
So to make it juicy, I think we go 5, 5, 5, 4, 4, 4, 3, 3, 3, 2, 2, 2, 1, 1, 1.
All right, number 5 for me, Justin Jefferson.
Toddy.
We're 5.
5.
I have Myles Garrett. He won Defensive Player of the Year last year.
I have Lamar Jackson in my 5.
This is crazy.
Okay, I got Jackson at 7, Garrett at 8, so that ain't bad. All right, for me,
Lamar Jackson, unanimous MVP, led his team to an AFC championship. If anyone else does that, they get a pat in the back. They just have to run up against Patrick. A lot of teams lose to Patrick.
No, Shaun had him at like 9 or 7. That was crazy to me.
I got Lamar at 7.
Okay.
Lamar at 7.
Still crazy, but go ahead.
All right. Well, he's the second best quarterback in the NFL. Number 4, this is a guy that Jaevon already mentioned. I got him at 4. Travis Kelce, best tight end in the NFL. Clearly, love me some George Kittle. but clearly Travis Kelce has been the best tight end in the NFL for at least 5 years, probably going on 10. So I say Travis Kelce, number 4.
4, I have Josh Allen. I have Josh Allen at 4.
Okay, I got Josh Allen at 10. Not bad.
Burn me to the core. At 4, I have Madden boy, Christian McCaffrey. Well, I mean, what truly needs to be said? 20 touchdown season, do it all back. Was in Carolina, being a prisoner, goes to San Francisco, gets a sweatsuit. So, he's doing his thing. CMC at 4 for sure.
There we go.
God damn, I thought Kevin was going to say something nicer, and then he fucking in the sweatsuit again. All right. Number 3, Nicholas John Bosa. Best defensive player in the NFL.
Shit. No, he didn't.
Yeah.
I sure did. Number 3, Nick Bosa.
See, I wanted to come in here and be an asshole and put Jalen Hurts on this list, but I didn't want to be called biased. But I didn't know we were throwing all of our team in here.
He's the best defensive player in the NFL. If you don't think he's the best, then he's definitely top 5, if not top 3.
Okay, so to go from the best to the 5 is stretch.
I think he's the best, but I know you guys might argue otherwise. Toddy?
The reason why I didn't put Bosa at the highest paid highest defensive guy on my list is because Myles Garrett won the award. So I was like,
yeah, he did, but
it's a stat thing, but it's not. I feel like with defense, it's not always stats too, because there's like the attention that he provides. Because if we could just go up that, like Chris Jones is one of the guys that like you need to know where he's at all times on the field. Like Aaron Donald would obviously be on this list, but obviously he's not an NFL player anymore. But yeah, so my third guy was Justin Jefferson. I had Jettas at 3. I think he's the best receiver in the league.
My third guy, Gary. Shout out to Gary, the cheetah, Tyreek Hill. He was on track to break Megatron's record. Like I mentioned, played 16 games and finished with 1,799 yards. He can trip into 1,800 yards.
Yeah.
So one thing I'll say about like how I'm making my picks, and this is kind of as a follow-up to Jaevon when referencing the award that Myles Garrett won, is like Bosa has won that same award in his career as well. They both have one. And I feel like a lot of times these lists are based on what you just most recently saw. I'm basing it off what I've seen in the entire history of their career, but also what they may be able to do this upcoming season. Because for me, I'm ranking these players going into the season, and I'm ranking them based on what I think that they could do. And that's why, and Kevin, you very well could have Justin Jefferson in your top 2, but like for Jaevon and I both having him in our top 10, or even both of us having him in our top 5, I definitely think that's based on obviously what he has done up until last year, where he had his first career year where he got injured not once but twice, when he said at the beginning of that receiver show, like, I've never been injured in my career, like a significant injury, and he has 2 in 1 year. And so rather than basing it just solely on last year's stats, I'm thinking about it on what he has done in his career and what I expect him to do this year. That's why I got him at number 5. But anyways, getting away from the madness that is me putting Nicholas John Bosa at number 3 in my overall rankings. Well, I have heard this guy in both of your top 10s. He's not number 2, but he is on my list, and that is the best running back, best playmaker in the NFL, Christian McCaffrey.
I'm not mad at it.
Number 2.
Yeah. 2, I have Lamar Jackson. He won the MVP last year. He lost to the guy I think that's number 1 on all of our lists. So
I feel like that's the one thing that we could all agree on is who's number 1. It's kind of it's like that LeBron effect.
But I think Lamar is just a guy, he's what he is to his team. They consistently win double-digit games every year, get to the playoffs. He's got to perform in the playoffs. I think we can all agree on that. 2-time MVP. A lot of people can't say that in the history of the NFL, and he's one of them. So I think Lamar is the second best player in the league. Kevin puts his hat down. I don't know why.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. The second best player on Kevin's NFL
Please don't
top
say
10.
Don't say anything, though.
I'm sorry, Shaun. There's no butterfly effect here. I got Patrick Mahomes at number 2.
Wow.
One needs to be said. Best quarterback in the game. They struggled offensively all year. When it comes to the playoff team, he goes on the road and he gets it done. So I have Patrick Mahomes finishing at 2 on my list.
Wow. I'm honestly lost for words.
Does
And,
Kevin
like,
know ball? They're gonna flame you, Kevin. I hope you know.
Mahomes, saying Mahomes is number 2. It's like, okay, you're still top 2, but I thought for sure that he'd be number 1 on all of our lists.
So should I just go next since we know?
He's number 1 on my list. He's number 1 on Jaevon's list. Kevin, who's number 1 on your list?
Myles fucking Garrett.
Oh,
wow.
Defensive Player of the Year, 16 sacks, 94 pressures. He did it all. He was that defense. When we were roasting them for Deshaun Watson, he was playing that over and over and over. And he said, now what? You know, I know Joe Flacco came in there and stunk up the show, but Myles Garrett went out there and put on a hell of a performance all year round and single-handedly carried this defense. So the stats show it. The award shows it. He was the best defender in the NFL last year. You can say TJ Watt, but I have him finishing at number 1 on my list.
I don't know why.
All right.
I guess.
So we can all refresh our 5 through 1s.
Okay. So go ahead, Kevin. You can go first.
Lamar Jackson at 5, CMC at 4, Tyreek Hill at 3, Patrick Mahomes at 2, Myles Garrett at 1.
Go ahead, Shaun.
Go ahead, Toddy. No.
I got
on that.
I got Myles Garrett at 5, Josh Allen at 4, Justin Jefferson at 3, Lamar at 2, and Patrick Mahomes at 1. I don't know. I mean, I put Myles Garrett at 5 because he was the defensive player of the year. I don't think he's the best player in the league, but I mean, number 1 is kind of crazy. But that's why that's the beauty of this thing. That's the beauty of this exercise. We all have our own.
Well, guys, we have someone who has liked to state his opinion, as has been done in the Instagram live stream, which you can follow us at Stats Over Politics, but none other than our former co-host, Mr. Gary Singh, says, Baby Goat is the best. And then he has a second message, and I'm not going to take the time to make this look all pretty. I'm just copy and pasting. But his second message says, TJ Watt better than Myles. Myles said TJ better, edge rusher, haha. And he chooses to use all caps. Shout out to our guy, Gary.
I mean, hey, Jaylen Brown went up there and said shout out to Jason Tatum when he got his finals MVP. People can say whatever they want to say.
Man, I got to start, I have the notepad. I got to start making a list of Kevin's greatest hits because Jason Tatum not winning finals MVP or conference finals MVP, sweatsuits. We gotta start keeping track. I'll have a, and I know that Toddy and I have things that we say all the time too. We'll eventually have to add a couple of sounds to the producing panel. So if we hear one of those phrases, you hit the sound because we heard it. Anyways, my top 5 is Justin Jefferson, Travis Kelce, Nick Bosa, Christian McCaffrey, and Patrick Mahomes. So I have 4 guys who just played in the Super Bowl in my top 4. Jacob, you already gave us yours as well as Kevin. Any closing thoughts, gentlemen, before we get out of here on this Monday night?
Oh, I had some honorable mentions, guys. I had Trent Williams on there. Shaun had.
Of course he did.
Should have put him in the top 10.
Brandon Ayuk,
Jamar Chase, Justin Herbert is a guy on there. Sauce Gardner, Joe Burrow, Micah Parsons was another guy that I wanted to put on this list, but I was like, I think there are a couple guys ahead of him right now. Penei Sewell is another guy who I think is going to be one of the guys I think we should watch out for. And Max Crosby is a guy who I think is just an absolute animal every single chance that he gets. And he plays hurt, he plays through everything. Not saying that most guys play hurt, but I mean, the organization that he plays for is been in such just a downward spiral. They got some hope now with Antonio Pierce, but we'll see how that reign goes. But I mean, for the situation that he's in, for him to kind of be one of the best players at his position, it's kind of like this guy's really good at football. Imagine him on a winning football team. So those are my honorable mentions. I kind of wanted to give some love to. CeeDee Lamb was kind of in there, but I don't know if he's top 10.
AJ Brown at 6, though.
Is that crazy?
AJ Brown said DJ Brown.
No, I thought I said AJ Brown. But
I was really, if we were to keep it with 20, though, I had some names in here that y'all were going to scream.
Oh, my gosh. Devontae Smith, 15. Jalen Hurts, 11.
He was the only Eagle in my top 20. But
Saquon Barkley, 19.
Kev did a top 20. Now we were kind of like, do we do 20 or should we do 10? Kev was like, I got 20. I got 10 more.
I spent 20, 30 minutes on this list. I was precise. But
Jason Kelsey, right out of retirement.
What was your top 20, Kev?
20, I had Kyle Hamilton, most versatile defender in the NFL, 465 snaps at slot, 300 at free safety, 89 at strong safety, 147 at left outside linebacker, 5 at corner, 58 at inside linebacker. 19, I had Josh Allen. 18, I had Sauce. 17, I had Joe. 16, I had Dak. 15, I had Jalen. 14, I had Trent Williams. 15, I had Max. 14, I had Panay. 13, I had Justin. And then I had, where's the rest of my list? Max Crosby and Panay Sewell. And then my 10.
I like it.
Dak Prescott's better than Joe Burrow or Josh Allen?
Yeah. Well,
Happy birthday, Dak Prescott.
Have they both done anything? Are we comparing shit to shitter?
No. That's crazy. That's crazy.
And with that does it for episode number 106 of Stats Over Politics. You know the deal. If you're enjoying the podcast, give us 5 stars. We'd really appreciate it. You can make sure to give us a like on YouTube as well. It helps us a lot. If you enjoy the podcast, hit subscribe to get notifications when we go live. You can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Stats Over Politics and on X at Stats Over Politics. As you guys have been tuned in to episode number 106 of Stats Over Politics. For my guys, Jaevon, Toddy, Kevin Dent, and even Gary Singh in the Instagram comments, I'm your host, Shaun Holko. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next Monday on another episode of Stats Over Politics.
Make sure you guys tune in. There might be an in-person episode coming up here soon.
Damn right. Later, guys.